Today, let's discuss socioeconomic stagnation. This is what comes inevitably if the ruling class continues to weaponize poverty. When I was younger, my mother used to warn us against associating with the bad gangs in society. These bad elements are called egbe kegbe in the Yoruba language. They are the violent thugs, gangs, drug dealers, political touts, pickpockets, and more. There's even a popular song by the famous musician Fela about egbe kegbe. But where are they today? Some are land dealers, political appointees, in the transport unions, or park operators. They make good money daily, even more than those of us who stayed in school. Many of us in the working class seem to have our careers forced into stagnancy. There is little to no upward mobility without a political connection. Also, inflation is constantly eating into our slave wages. In effect, nothing seems to ever change or improve. There is still no pipe-borne water from the water corporation. We provide our own water through boreholes. Electricity remains inconsistent. We provide our own communal security since the police seem to mostly dislike the poor. Nothing has changed, yet there are those who benefit from this stagnancy. There are several ways that the ruling class appear to induce socioeconomic stagnation as a weapon of poverty to control the poor. They can do this through the creation of bureaucratic barriers and complex systems. Imagine you work hard and save some money to buy a piece of land. You are issued a receipt, but the government tells you to pay for stamp duty, register the land, and get an approved plan. Then 5 years later, they come up with a new document requirement, and then another. Eventually, your land is seized because you lack a certificate of occupancy, a document that is very complicated and takes forever to approve in many states. This is what happens if the ruling class decides to make land ownership requirements very bureaucratic and complicated, so they can claim ownership of private properties. The private owners are then right back where they started, without their land and without their money. This complex system induces socioeconomic stagnation and is strategically an instrument of weaponized poverty. Next, complex systems create a hindrance for local and foreign investments, further causing more economic stagnancy. You may wonder how anyone can benefit from this. We know that many foreign companies are leaving Nigeria because of the harsh economic policies and business environment. How can anyone think this is a good thing? The answer lies in the creation of monopolies. For the monopolists, a harsher business environment for the foreign investor may force them to leave. This reduces market competition for the monopolist and it leaves room for price exploitations and more profits. In Nigeria, many politicians have investments in the private sector. It is therefore not surprising when some of them have monopolies over markets that they control. They can create more barriers to entry, therefore keeping the markets and the people stagnant. After all, who can thrive when prices are high but wages are low? Monopolists cause economic isolation and stagnation. So, what is socioeconomic stagnation? Investopedia describes it as a prolonged period of little or no growth in the economy. What does this mean for the people who experience it? Well, for one, it means that even though you are hardworking, there's always no money in your pockets. Don't get me wrong, everybody gets broke once in a while, but when your condition is stagnant economically, it means you are broke permanently. which means you cannot afford to paint your home, you cannot afford a balanced diet, heck, you cannot afford to exist because you have to pay for almost everything in life and you constantly have no money. In Nigeria, I think most local governments have turned into money-making machines with their taxes. But when you approach them for basic infrastructure and support, they all sing the same music. They tell you that the government has no money. So, here are my questions. What are you doing with all the income taxes? What are you doing with all the tolls from toll gates? What are you doing with the daily dues from transport workers? We all see them paid to work in the mornings, afternoons, and evenings. On the federal level, don't even get me started on international loans or the returned Abacha loots. Where are all this money going? There's no asphalt road leading to my house in Lagos. It's all red mud. There's no electricity either. We, the community, are the ones buying the poles and doing the wirings and installations. Why do we do it ourselves? To get out of stagnancy. The job market is also hell right now. You can forget about high-paying jobs if your family isn't already rich and politically connected. But now, we also have to compete heavily for the mediocre jobs that pay slave wages. The majority of citizens that live on the outskirts of town have to create their own jobs or die of hunger. Jobs like stylists or massage therapists now have a darker side to them because people have to do anything to escape stagnancy and starvation. Socioeconomic stagnation puts well-meaning people into survival mode. You have no money coming in, and you have no expectations of money coming in, so nothing ever changes. Yet, time continues to run. This is why you can travel to a high-income economy for 10 years and return to your home country to find your local carpenter or barber still doing the same job with very little improvement at all. Everybody is stuck in survival mode. This may look bad to you, but to the tax collector who has weaponized poverty, this situation is perfect. All of this is why we must learn how to identify and fight instruments of weaponized poverty. And with that said, I will talk to you in the next episode.